Everyone in the village knew Amara. She was the girl with two mothers, one rich and one poor. People whispered behind her back. How can one girl belong to both Mama F, the yam seller, and Madame Tola, the woman with 4 cars and a big house in the city? Even Amara didn't understand it. One day she was sweeping the floor of Mama F's small hut, eating roasted maize for dinner. The next, she was sitting in the back seat of a shiny black car, heading to Lagos with Madame Tola, who called her my daughter, and dressed her in fine lace and gold sandals. Why do I have 2 mums? Amara asked one night. Mama F looked away and said, You'll understand when the time comes. But Amara didn't want to wait. She needed answers. One weekend while Madame Tola was out, Amara sneaked into her study. She found a wooden box under the desk. Inside were letters old dusty and tied with red string. Her hands shook as she opened the first one. It was addressed to Mama F. Her eyes widened. F, you promised never to tell her the truth. Suddenly she heard footsteps. The door creaked. Amara. Madame Tola's voice was soft but cold. What are you doing here? Amara quickly hid the letter behind her back. I was just looking for a book. Madame Tola smiled, but her eyes didn't. You shouldn't go where you're not invited, my dear. Some secrets are dangerous. Amara's heart pounded. She knew one thing for sure now. Both of her mothers were hiding something big, and she was going to find out what it was. Amara couldn't sleep that night. She hid the letter under her pillow, afraid Madame Tola would come looking for it. Her thoughts ran wild. What truth was she not supposed to know? Why did the letter sound like a warning? The next morning, Madame Tola acted as if nothing happened. She served Amara pancakes and fresh mango juice. She even gave her a brand new phone. You deserve nice things, she said with a smile. You're not like those other village girls. Amara nodded, but her heart was not smiling. Her mind was still in the study with the letters. Later that day, she pretended to go to the garden. Instead, she ran to the small internet cafe near the house. She had to search for something, anything about her mothers. She typed in F and Tola village story into the search bar. Nothing came up. Then she remembered something. When she was younger, an old woman once called her the baby from the fire. At the time, she thought it was just village gossip. Now it felt like a clue. She typed baby from the fire Lagos village F, Tola and hit enter. One article popped up. Mystery child rescued from fire, mother claims child stolen. Amara clicked it. Her hands shook as she read the words. A house had burned down in a small village 15 years ago. A baby was saved. 2 women fought over her. One said she gave birth to her. The other said she found her and raised her. The child was never identified. Amara's mouth went dry. The baby in the story, it had to be her. Suddenly her phone buzzed. A message from Madame Tola. Where are you? She froze. Another message followed. Come home now. We need to talk. About everything. Amara's heart raced. Did she know I found the article? Did she see the search history? She looked around. The cafe was quiet, too quiet. She took a deep breath, grabbed her bag and ran out into the sun. She needed to see Mama F. Amara didn't take the main road. She took the back alleys she remembered from childhood. Narrow paths filled with hanging clothes, barking dogs, and the smell of fried akara. Her heart was pounding. She hadn't seen Mama F in 2 weeks. That last visit, she had seemed nervous, like she wanted to say something but didn't know how. When Amara finally reached the small compound, she found Mama F outside, peeling cassava with her neighbor. The moment she saw Amara, her eyes widened. My child. Mama F stood slowly, wiping her hands on her wrapper. What's wrong? Amara looked around then whispered, We need to talk. Alone. Mama F took her inside the tiny mud room. The air was hot, thick with the scent of wood smoke and palm oil. I know about the fire, Amara said, pulling out the folded letter and the printed article from her bag. I know I was taken from it. I know you and Madame Tola are hiding something. Mama F sat down slowly, like her knees couldn't carry the weight anymore. She looked at the letter, then at Amara. I told her not to write those letters, Mama F muttered. It was too risky. Tell me the truth, Amara said, her voice shaking. Who am I? Mama F looked into her eyes. You were born on a stormy night. Your real mother, she was someone else. Amara stepped back. So neither of you is my real mom? Mama F hesitated. Tola is, but not in the way you think. Amara's head spun. What does that mean? Before Mama F could answer, there was a loud knock on the door. Boom, boom, boom. Open up, a voice barked. Police! Mama F's face went pale. You need to hide. Now. Amara's blood ran cold. She grabbed her bag and ducked under the old wooden bed. As Mama F opened the door, Amara listened closely. We have orders to bring the girl back, one officer said. Madame Tola reported her missing. She's not missing, Mama F replied calmly. She came home. She's not your daughter, the officer snapped. But I raised her, Mama F said quietly. Amara held her breath. What was going on? Who had the right to claim her? And most of all, why were the police involved? Amara could feel her heart beating in her ears as she lay under the bed, every second dragging like an hour. I'm sorry, the officer said, his voice firm. We have orders. If the girl is here, we must take her. I don't know where she is, Mama F replied, standing her ground. She came and left. She's just a child, not a criminal. We'll search the house. Amara's breath caught in her throat. Footsteps moved closer. She gripped the wooden floor, praying they wouldn't look under the bed. Then a phone rang. It was one of the officers. He picked it up. Yes, sir. Understood. There was a pause. Change of plans. Madame Tola said to leave the girl. For now. We're to report back immediately. The second officer grumbled. This woman has too much power. They turned and walked out. The door shut. Silence. Then Mama F knelt beside the bed. Come out, my child. They're gone for now. Amara crawled out, her legs shaking. Why would Madame Tola send the police? Then tell them to stop. She's trying to scare you, Mama F whispered. She wants to control the story. But now it's too late. What do you mean? Amara asked. Mama F stood up, walked to the wooden chest in the corner, and unlocked it with a small key she wore around her neck. Inside was a faded yellow envelope. She left this here 16 years ago, she said, handing it to Amara. She made me promise never to show it to you. But you need to see it now. Amara opened the envelope. Inside was a birth certificate. Name, Amara Tiniola Adeyemi. Mother, Tola Adeyemi. Father unknown. Amara's hand trembled. So she is my real mother? Mama F nodded slowly. Yes. She gave birth to you. But she didn't want to raise you. Not then. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Why? Before Mama F could answer, her phone buzzed. She picked it up and froze. She's coming, she said quietly. Tola is on her way. Right now. Amara looked out the window. A black SUV had just pulled up. The woman stepping out wasn't smiling. She wasn't alone. Madame Tola stepped out of the SUV in her usual elegant way, heels clicking on the dusty ground like thunder. Behind her came a tall man in a gray suit, wearing dark glasses. He didn't look like a driver. Amara and Mama F watched from inside the house, their hearts pounding. She brought someone, Amara whispered. Not just someone, Mama F said. That man. He works for government people. He's powerful. Before Amara could ask more, there was a sharp knock at the door. Talk. 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 Open this door, F. Madame Tola's voice rang out, calm but dangerous. We need to talk. I'm done playing games. Mama F looked at Amara. Whatever happens, don't be afraid. Just listen. She opened the door slowly. Tola walked in like she owned the house. The man in the suit stood by the door, silent, eyes scanning the room. Amara, Tola said, her eyes locking onto the girl. You've been very busy. Amara didn't speak. Tola walked over and picked up the birth certificate on the table. So, you've seen it. Why didn't you tell me the truth? Amara asked, her voice small but firm. Why pretend? Tola sighed. Because I wasn't ready for you to know everything. And because some things are more complicated than they seem. You're my mother, Amara said. But you gave me away. Tola's jaw tightened. I didn't give you away. I saved you. Mama F laughed bitterly. Saved her? Is that what you call it now? Tola turned sharply. You think you were doing better? Hiding her from her future. I gave her love, Mama F said, stepping forward. That's more than you gave her in 16 years. Enough, the man in the suit snapped. We're not here to argue. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a file. There's going to be a court hearing in Lagos. Custody and legal rights. Madam Tola has filed for full parental control. Amara gasped. You want to take me away? You belong with me, Tola said, her voice softening. Not in this hut. I can give you a better life, Amara. Education, travel, everything. But what about the truth? Amara said. Why was I in a burning house? Why was I raised by her and not you? Tola looked away. I'll tell you everything, she said at last. But not here. Come with me. Amara looked at Mama F. Go if you must, Mama F said, tears in her eyes. But remember, truth without love is just noise. Amara stood frozen, between two lives, two mothers, one truth, and a decision that could change her forever. Amara's hands trembled at her sides. The walls of the tiny house felt like they were closing in. She looked at Madame Tola, flawless in her fine clothes, her perfume filling the room. Then at Mama F, barefoot, worn hands, eyes full of sorrow and love. I'll go with you, Amara said quietly. But only if you tell me everything. No more lies. Tola gave a slow nod. Good. Bring your things. I don't have things, Amara replied, stepping toward the door. Everything I ever had is here. Mama F didn't say a word. She just hugged her tightly, holding on like she might never get the chance again. As Amara climbed into the black SUV, her chest ached. The man in the suit drove them in silence, only the hum of the engine filling the air. Amara stared out the window, watching the red rooftops and dusty roads disappear behind her. After a while, she couldn't take the silence anymore. What happened the night of the fire? Tola looked straight ahead, her voice low. Your father was a powerful man. Married. Dangerous. Amara's head snapped toward her. He was married? Yes, Tola said. I was young, foolish. When I got pregnant, he told me to get rid of you. But I didn't. So he set the house on fire? Amara asked. Tola paused. He says he didn't. But someone did. That night, the house was locked from the outside. Only you and I were inside. Amara's eyes widened. I managed to break a window. I threw you out to a neighbor. But before I could escape, something exploded. I woke up 2 days later in a hospital. Burned alone. They told me you were dead. But I wasn't, Amara said softly. No, Tola said. F found you. But by the time I came back to the village, she had disappeared. With you. Amara sat in silence, her mind spinning. She wanted to scream, cry, ask 1,000 questions, but her voice was gone. Tola looked at her. Now I have you again. And this time, no one is taking you from me. Amara swallowed hard. What if I don't want this life? Tola didn't answer. But the man in the suit gave her a quick glance in the mirror. They were getting closer to the city now. The houses were bigger, the roads smoother. Soon, the SUV pulled into a large compound with iron gates. Guards opened it without question. As they drove in, Amara's eyes caught something strange. Another black car parked near the gate. Inside was a man, wearing dark glasses, watching them closely. Who's that? Amara asked. Tola looked out, then frowned. I don't know. But the look on her face said otherwise. The gates closed behind them with a heavy clang. Amara felt like a bird locked in a golden cage. Inside, the house was grand, shining floors, white walls, and chandeliers that looked like falling stars. Yet, none of it felt like home. Tola led her upstairs to a room filled with expensive things. Soft bed, shiny shoes, untouched books. This is yours now, she said. Everything here. Amara looked around. But what good was a room full of riches when her heart felt so empty? That night she couldn't sleep. Her mind was full of Mama F's voice, full of warmth and truth. She remembered her rough hands, her soft songs by the fire, her quiet strength. At dawn, she slipped out of the house, past the guards who were still half asleep. She didn't run back to the village. She went to the police station in Lagos. With her bag, her documents, and her story. I want the truth, she told the officer. And I want to decide who I live with. Not just based on money, but on love. A case was opened. Investigations were launched. And when the judge finally sat to hear it, Amara stood before him with calm eyes. I deserve the right to choose, she said. And she chose Mama F. Because Mama F had given her love when there was no reason to. Because raising a child was more than buying them clothes or cars. It was singing to them when they were sick. It was carrying them when they couldn't walk. It was telling the truth, even when it hurt. Tola wept in court, but not because she lost. She wept because for the first time she understood. Love is not control, and money is not motherhood. Being a parent is not about wealth or power. It's about love, sacrifice, and truth. A rich heart is more valuable than a rich house. And in the end, it's not what you give a child, but how you love them, that matters most.